Howdy everybody, Big Fatty Plus here, welcome back to the BygMan Plays Planescape Torment, Crystal Bormac. Last left off, we found Deanira's father, and told him we were crazy. No, we told him we were having issues and that she was dead, and we were the ones that she went off with, and now he wants us to vow to find out what happened to her. And we did vow, because we're good. Now we're going to talk to a linguist. This short scholarly man, a tight, nervous frown on his face, looks you up and down. Greetings, I am Phenom. Must beg your pardon, sir, but I care little for guests, invited or otherwise, so unless you have business with me, I would ask you to leave. I did have some questions. Well, I would have you know that I am a scholar and a linguist, sir. While I shall happily entertain any questions regarding my field of study, language and the like, we can know of help you in other matters. Unfold the dodecahedron to a page with writing on it and ask if we can translate it. He takes the unfolded dodecahedron in his hands and examines it closely. This language is a long-dead one, known to virtually no one. I believe my father, a linguist like myself, knew this language and may well have been the only man in Sickle at the time that could understand it. I recognize it from his notes, but I cannot translate it. You have those notes still? Phenom shakes his head. They'll be of no use to you if you're looking to translate anything, and the few actual books he had pertaining to the language disappeared around the time of his murder, I believe. Yet your father was murdered? Phenom nods. Strangled he was. He had left to tutor someone. He taught various languages to supplement his research income, and was discovered dead in the side chamber of the Civic Fest Hall. The killer was never found. This was perhaps 50 years ago now? I was but a child. He knew the language, though, and could teach it? Surely he did, and could were he alive today. My father was said to be a great teacher, Phenom said sadly. I have his skill with language, but not his patience for others, sadly. Is he interred at the mortuary? Why, no. His ashes are kept here. He points to a bronze urn sitting atop a cabinet beside a bouquet of purple flowers. Why? A wry smile crosses Phenom's lips. A necroscope, are you? Speak with the dead? He suddenly frowns. I have no wish to speak of these things any longer. You'll have to excuse me, sir. Farewell. Farewell, Phenom. There is an urn atop a small cabinet full of ashes and charred bits of bone. Etched in the base of the urn are the words Fin Andlio, beloved husband, father, and scholar of 100 languages. Use stories will always tell on the remains. Okay. The ashes seem to stir faintly, as if moved by your breath. A faraway voice whispers up from within the urn. Why have I been summoned to these ashes, cold and grey as the heart of a hag? To answer some questions, spirit. Ask, then, so I might return to my most quiet thoughts. Ooh, who are you? I was Finn, a linguist and scholar. I was murdered by a student of mine. Murdered so that I could not teach another the language that I taught him. The tongue of the Uyo, it was, one of the rarest in the multiverse. I knew of none who spoke it save myself and that one damnable murderous student. Described in the rhyme from the folding dodecahedron, Esme knows the language. I could teach the language, yes. It would please me to do so, in fact, if only to spite that bloody-handed student of long ago. First, tell me what languages you do speak. Learn from what you can. As the spirit speaks to you of the lost language of the Uyo, there is a throbbing sensation in your temples as a memory begins to surface. Memories of this language. You recall letters, words, phrases, until, like a spire wind blowing away the blanket of poisonous smog over the great foundry, the language is once more revealed to you in its entirety.
Updated my journal.
There's another memory, though bubbling to the surface, a darker one. Its presence troubles you somehow, fills you with unease, and unexplained pains of guilt. Allow it.
Updated my journal.
We're trying to remember what we did. At last you recall Finn Andal himself. You remember his gentle voice, his kind manner, his schooling you in the ancient language of Uyo. You also remember your scarred, gnarled hand wrapped around his frail throat, crushing his larynx and thus ensuring that the secret contents of your journal, hidden and thrice trapped in a dodecahedral puzzle box and pinned in the obscure language of the Uyo, would be forever safe from prying eyes. Do I admit this? Now, do I admit this, though? I'm a good guy, but Finn, I must tell you, it was me who murdered you.
Updated my journal.
The spirit is silent for a time, the ashes rustling softly within the urn. When it speaks once more, its voice is full of sorrow. But why? And why would you come to me once more? Did you forget what you have been taught? No, well, yes, it is difficult to explain, but it must have been a former self of mine that murdered you. Each time I die, I reawaken as if from a long sleep, but having forgotten everything, who I was or what I'd done. My God, this motherfucker is a freaking Timelord from Gallifrey. Why didn't I see it coming? He's a goddamn Timelord. Except Time Lords remember what the hell happened to him. This motherfucker don't. I think I understand. I sense your regret and would forgive you. May peace be with you, poor pupil of old, and may you prove kinder in this life than the one which saw an end to mine. Thanks, Ven. Farewell. Let me save. And see if I can actually save some. That's not how you do that. Finn, I'm glad to see your way fine. Chosen to grace my home once more, have you? What is your wish of me? Questions? Scholar, never mind. Okay, now I should be... Okay, now I can read it. You have the cold grey dodecahedron up to examine it carefully. Now aware of the various deadly traps it holds for the cautious user and how to avoid them entirely. Having learned the dead language of the Uyo, you'll last be able to decipher its contents. Unfold it.
Updated my journal.
10 grand experience! The tablet turns out to be a journal of sorts, one kept by some prior incarnation of yourself, it would seem. And not an altogether same one either. There are only a handful of completely coherent sections. Browse to it. What do you wish? Ooh, boy. Yes, sir! Let's do some reading! Whispering shadows. The whispers are not the shadows moving. They're speaking, plotting, talking to each other. I can understand some of what they say. Read something else. I have a feeling we're about to walk into something like frickin' Alan Wake here now. Read about the female ghost. The book tells me things, whispers things. Tells me to avoid the ghost girl, avoid her. I don't know her, and she torments me! Hiding something within your own body. And so I swallowed it, hoping it'd catch in my bowels. I can make someone remove it when I need it. Paranoid ranting. I've learned that my life is not my own. I will not allow you to have my life. You will have to pull my life from my broken body if you want it. It's you who will die if I cannot have it, neither will you. You are responsible for this treason of flesh. You will not live to live my life. Accursed tattoos. The accursed tattoos will not leave my skin. I have tried to burn them off my skin. Failed. I tried and cloak myself. But I always feel that people are reading my flesh. Reading me like a book. Whenever they look at me, I want to tear their eyes out. Fuck them in the socket and crush them beneath my heel. Motherfucker's crazy. TNO, dude. Your last self was nuts. Sex, the dreams, and revel. Why can't I dream? I used to gobble a similar to force a waking dream. I saw a hag. She tempted me. She threatened me with shadows. I never seen her, but she came when I dreamt it. I must not dream again. I must always be aware I destroyed the goblet. She said she is someone of power and that she will have me. Will find me. Get away, hag! Stay far away from me! Leave me in peace! I want nothing to do with you! Continue reading this portion of the journal. Her voice reeked of evils. Talons! Talons like spiders! They burrowed out to my grey man and I need out! Out of my man! Out! Hag! Okay, dude, seriously, your last... What the frick? Were you calling Baker in your last incarnation, dude? Seriously! She was a myth. A fairy tale who alone charged the Lady of Pain! How can one fight someone who is a myth? I don't have the weapons. Any weapons that will kill her should define me. Any strategy so she cannot defeat me when she comes for me. Must devise and think. I shall beat her! Danger of names. Fear names! Names has power and identity. Names can be used as weapons by others. They are a hook. They can be used to track you and find you, hunt you. Across the plains. Remain nameless. You should be safe. Okay. About the killing in the fest hall. I went to the fest hall looking for the path of my false self in this hall, so glad was it that those I did not know, the false ones, welcomed me to their conference, treated me as a friend, showed me my room, attended to my needs. I had to restrain myself from marching out against them. That would have been premature. First I need to protect my identity. I found one who knew the exclusive language of the Uyo. Learned it as I could. Then killed him! Then I went to the sensorium prepared to end the matter soon. 9. Read about the murder of one who tried to help you. There's nothing he can do. Memories are gone. He says, never to return. He says lies and tells me. This is what he told me, lies. He says my mind is weakening from every death. Lies! He sat there, betraying my confidence with every turn. He says only after 3 more deaths, 3 more lives, will I gain the benefit of keeping my memories. But as I myself, I would die when I die. Die! How can one be immortal and still die? He could not answer. So he was of no use. I butchered him so that no other incarnation would ever benefit from his uselessness. Oh, uselessness. Okay, I can't just type in 10, so... Read a cryptic answer from an unknown source. So the ghastly head said, you have been divided. You are one of many men. One of many men. Here are many names, each left the scars on your flesh. Last one, immortal one. Incarnation's end, man of 1,000 deaths. The one doomed to life. Restless one of many. The one whom life holds prisoner, the bringer of shadows, the wounded one, misery bringer, Yemeth. Okay. You are silvered glass that has cracked into pieces scattered across history. Only one piece is of important. Yeah. Regain that, your life will be yours again. There's a price. This price will buy you a chance. Without the chance, you are doomed! You have lost that which is never meant to be separate from man. Your mortality has been stripped from you. Lost, it exists. But you must find it, for your mind has lost you as well. Something about a legacy. A legacy! The note read, forget not to collect your legacy. A small code is scratched beside it. 51 AA. A trap, no doubt, set by yet another of my false selves. I'll see it destroyed, I will. Oh. Okay. Our former self was a nutbag. A loon. Fucking insane! Oh, we also have to kill some dogs. This young but well-muscled thug, well certainly well-armed and large enough to be dangerous, seems awfully clean for a typical street tough. He's carrying a massive axe in one hand and a steel box in the other. As you near him, he puffs up and scowls at you. What are you looking at, sword? Pike off, or I'll scrag you. Scrag? What in the 9 planes of bata are you talking about, you aged? Scrag, snagged, nipped, yanked by the hotheads? You clueless, saddle-covered buck. Glares daggers at Anna, but says nothing. You do seem a little well-groomed for a thug. Stop shaking your bone-box leatherhead. This is my territory, and you'll be leaving it quick if you don't want my bloods to tear you apart. Anna snickers, shaking her head. Rather you sod, rather your bone-box it is. I'd so like to see how long you'd last. Drop smack in the middle of the hive, and act as you were. Anna turns to you. Come on, let's be off. No use wasting our time with this wee-stemmed basher with me. His face flushes angry as he gnashes his teeth in frustration. That's it! You've piking asked for it! Get him, Bloods! He raises his axe and leaps to attack. Kill him! 4 on 4. Well, let's see what we got for fun. Well, the boss is going to get that. Armor on her. You will attack him. Morty, buddy, pal. Why don't you do a skull mob on him? Then we can wipe up the rest of them quite easily. In 3, 2, 1.
Your will be done.
Do I have any health items? Oh wait, who do you see? Strength on myself. And now, everyone attack them against this motherfucker right here. Now it's just a simple matter of murdering the rest of them.
I'm gone.
And there we go! And ass whooping, that's what that was. Now let's see what we get. Magic Missile, Bronze Ring. And Magic Missile I'll give to you. Do you have this? Okay. Okay, you can't even use that, so we'll just keep it as a...
Sure.
Morty! Grab all valuables if you could, please, Ooh, money.
Okay.
Ring, silver ring. What is this now? Bronze ring, blood charm, battle axe, and a steel box. This sturdy steel box has a thick leather handle on the top, but there's no apparent way to open the thing. It appears to be welded shut. There's a number of very narrow slits on one side, though. Can't quite see into the box. Sickly sweet rotting smell wafts out from the slits. Talk to the item. This sturdy steel box has a clear handle on the top, but it appears to be no apparent way to open the thing. It appears to be welded shut, doesn't move very seldom. Examine the container, more closely, sifts slightly in your hand. Something's moving inside. There's a man's voice with, oh, hello! Hello, there's someone there, by chance? My name's Mertwin. Anyone? Hail? Yes, greetings. Thank the powers! Have you seen my body, perchance? It's hard to miss him. Stumbles about with a silly wooden head on his shoulders. Must have worn his feet down to stubs. Looking for me by now? Yes, in the civic fist hall. My good fortune, then. Can I persuade you to return me to him, good sir? Yes, I'll do that for you.
Journal.
How splendid! I thank you kindly, sir. If you don't mind, now we'll be off. We'll hold off speaking any further until I'm with my body again. I had some questions. I'm sure you do, sir. Coming across the civic speaking head locked in an iron case. We'll have to wait. Very I'm being separated from my body, see? My humblest apologies. Oh... Kidoki then! Why? Why?
Done.
Now can I save? Okay. Well, let's just go return Annis, and maybe then we'll be able to recover my legacy. Thank you. Finally. I don't know why it wouldn't let me. Hey, Annis! You see Ennis. He turns you and fixes you with a tired gaze. As the dark sex beneath his eyes, looks as if he's not been sleeping. Greetings, Ennis. You again. He frowns slightly as he stares at you. What does he want this time? Only for you. With. Let's see here. Let's see, where can I... Oh, 1 second. Sorry about that. Let's see, Advocate. Okay. Actually, I believe you have a legacy for me. Indeed. Very well. Do you remember the legacy in question? The legacy is number 51AA, I believe. He looks at you in surprise as you name the legacy. That is extremely old. Are you certain? A shocked look comes upon his face. I hope that wasn't one of the ones that were burned. Burned? How old is it? Well, Giannis Ponds from several decades at least. It might have been burned? What do you mean? Lance looks sad. Yes, this office was the target of a senseless act of vandalism. A year ago we had a break-in here at the office. The vandal's sole desire seemed to be to burn my legal documentation. Much was lost. A shame, really. Sigil can be quite wearing on a person's faith. He seems to lose an inch as he mentions Sigil. The vandal only damaged certain documents, irreplaceable. Can you check to see if it still exists? Quickly nods. Oh yes, of course. Take a moment. Very well, I will wait. Yes, returns, not it. Yes, fortunately it was unharmed by the fire. All the articles are safe. Could I collect on it? I am the beneficiary. 8,000 experience worth. Woohoo! Of course, sign here and here on the dotted line. And there. Alright. There we are. That should be the last of the paperwork. Here are all items that were on the in the vault. One looks like a foundry receipt, though quite an old one to be sure. Did the deceased have something commissioned at the foundry? I don't really know. Perhaps I'm beginning to think just about anything is possible. Where's the foundry?
I couldn't carry any more, so I had to drop it.
It's located Old Warrior, past the Great Gates, number of Gosman. Thank you for directions. I'll go there now.
Done.
We have more. Let's see. Here, you can hold on to that. Just a room key. I have to hold on to that for now. Let's see. I can trust you with that and that. Let's see. We get a receipt, strange chunk of rock, and a kaleidoscope gem. Let's see, where's the receipt? Receipt sample symbol of the gospel, probably redeemable at the Great Foundry. Kaleidoscope gem. Let's see, am I supposed to... Tells me to... Okay, I'm going to identify this by... Ooh. I have a scroll. You have the scroll. So you will identify by scroll. Kaleidoscope Eye. Evolves chromatic orb when held. Special equipped. It's all saving throws. Shimmering Jewel is actually the corpse of... The Shimmering Jewel is actually the corpse of a radiant spirit from the upper plane of Elysium. When these creatures pass away, they leave their shimmering husks behind. These husks are often mistaken for jewels, semi-precious stones. Their essence is still that of a harmony and goodness, and they can only be employed by the creature whose heart is filled with good intentions. This kaleidoscopic eye could be either wielded in the hand or placed in an empty eye socket, depending on whether its owner wishes to use it for defense or offense. When held, the user may summon its power to harness ambient light, twist it, and turn it against its enemies. Placed in a socket, the eye grants itself to the wearer's skull, and helps shield its new owner. It absorbs a portion of the energies from incoming attacks and fights, proof against all manner of magical attacks. When the kaleidoscope's eye offensive power is exhausted, it cracks and turns to dust. Okay. Oh, where's my eye? I think I don't have to do anything with it right now, though. And I also got a... strange chunk of rock. Lava stone, most likely it looks, it's identified with the spell. Stone gullet of the gross. Yeah. Stone gullet. Special permanent. The gurgling stone gullet of Lapal that grows is well known as most artifacts tend to be. No wars have been waged over it, no betrayals, no epic journeys in the underworld, only a few mortalizing sorcerers, a fat man and his stomach. As the legend goes, Lapal the Gross was said to have been a promising practitioner of the art, a sorcerer's apprentice, to one of the last seers of Is Anon. Despite his skill at the art, however, his gluttony was the subject of much ridicule among his peers. During the last great massing of Is Anon, Lapal was invited to dine at the center table, but unknown to him, his peers had filled his wine goblet with an elixir of turning flesh to stone to teach the rotund student a lesson. Teach him a lesson, to not be hungry? What the fuck? Lapal assumed such great amounts of food and drink during the mass, however, that it diluted the portion's effect. Complaining of a stomachache hours after the feast, the local healer discovered that Lapal's stomach had turned to stone, yet was still capable of digesting food. Lapal lived the rest of his days happily eating, though his gullet was a few pounds heavier than before. When he finally died, his stomach was removed as an oddity, and since then it has wandered the plains in search of new stomachs. To use the artifact, one must consume it. It has the consistency of stale bread. Doing so will turn the eater's stomach into a stone gullet. Devouring the stone gullet of the fall will grant the user the blessing of stone and rock and slight resistance to the stomach acid. Do I want to use that? I'm going to have to find that out. But, damn. I think I need that.
Done.
Wait, no I don't. That'd be bad. Bad idea. Of course everything's a bad idea. So, now that we have our will, what are we going to... And, well, we now know we have to go to the foundry and reclaim something. What do we need to reclaim? Find out next time in the BygMan Plays! Planescape Torment, Quested by Bormac. Till then, it's Big Fat Plus, sayonara, and, it's always good to have a will. Always good to have a legacy. Because you never know when shit's gonna hit the fan, and you go cuckoo off your damn rocker, and suddenly decide to start acting like that guy, that crazy guy from the first Myst game. Damn, now I really know we need to go and play the rest of the damn series.